news from our studio BGI TV, Baba Nagede Imo TV. I am yours faithfully, Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Hanifa Abubakar and Sylvester Oromoni went to school and never came back, Shehu Sani. Hanifa Abubakar court adjourns case to February 9. OPC role in securing Southwest commendable Oromoni. Lady luckily escapes being kidnapped by boys in Unilag. Kidnap epidemic. Gunmen abduct ex-LG chair, 4 others in Ekiti. Anambra records 5 fire outbreaks in 1 day. My children using my letterhead for fraud, Kogi monarch raises alarm. Our Nigerian student died in Ukraine. And to another foreign story, UN trying to lure Russia into war, Putin says. And sports, CAF rejects Ghana venue change for Super Eagles clash. Now the news in detail. While sharing on his official Twitter handle, the president of the Civil Rights Congress of Nigeria, Shehu Sani, stated that Hanifa Abubakar and Sylvester Oromoni went to school and never came back, adding that their souls will rest in peace. Further speaking, Shehu Sani prayed that God should keep and protect schools in the country so it would be safe for our children. More stories is that this is sad and unfortunate. It could be recalled that a 5-year-old Hanifa Abubakar was allegedly abducted and misses till her death by the proprietor of our school, Abdul Malik Tanko, who confessed to have taken the life of the small girl with rat poison and buried her body. Also, the 12-year-old student of Durham College, Lekki, Lagos State, Sylvester Oromoni Jr., was allegedly beaten to death by his fellow students for refusing to join a secret cult. These 2 children allegedly lost their lives due to bad influence in their schools, and I want to use this opportunity to urge all parents, including teachers, to ensure that the children placed in their care are well protected. Still on Hanifa's case, the Kano State Magistrate Court has adjourned the case of the mother of 5-year-old Hanifa Abubakar to February 9, 2022. The prosecution counsel, led by Barrister Aisha Mahmood, said that the court lacked the jurisdiction to continue with the case and therefore requested the court to remand the 4 suspects in prison custody for a week before they are handed over to the State High Court. The main suspect, Abdurashid Tanko, along with 3 other suspects, was arraigned before the magistrate court at Gina Murtala in Kano last Wednesday. They were accused of killing Hanifa, and her body was later discovered in early January. The case stirred a lot of controversies and caused angry youth to set the school on fire. The Oni of Ife, Obadeye Ogunwusi, Weekend commended members of the Oodua People's Congress, OPC, for the active role in securing the southwestern region. Speaking during the 2022nd edition of the Oodua Festival in the Osun State, the Oni said that the security challenges in the region could have worsened if not for the intervention of the OPC. The monarch also stated that the OPC, under the leadership of Aare Gani Adams, has made a remarkable impact in complementing the effort of the Nigerian police force and other security outfits in reducing the security challenges across the southwest. While explaining the importance of celebrating the Oodua Festival in Ile-Ife, he appreciated the effort of the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land in promoting Yoruba culture and tradition. He stressed the need to turn the annual Oodua Festival into a big festival in Ile-Ife, insisting that the palace will support the Olokun Festival Foundation, OFF, in making subsequent editions of the festival one of the major festivals in Ile-Ife. He said, I want to appreciate the leaders of the OPC and the Aare Ona Kakanfo of Yoruba land. In his address, Adams urged all traditional rulers in Yoruba land to start celebrating the Oodua Festival in their respective towns and communities, maintaining that the festival remains the only festival that reflects the identity of the Yoruba race. He said this is the truth because Oodua is our progenitor. He represented a symbol of leadership to the Yoruba traditional institution. Oodua was the king of all obas and deities. To another criminal story, a young lady has recently been saved from the hands of boys who tried to force her into their car in Unilag. According to a report making the rounds online, the lady was at Unilag second gate when some boys approached her and tried to woo her. However, the lady refused to yield to the tactics and they began to use force to execute their plans. The boys reportedly tried forcing her into their car and in the process, they hit her head with a stone. However, luck was on her side as Unilag security operatives quickly swung into action and rescued her. An eyewitness said, this evening at Unilag second gate, these guys tried to kidnap a lady. They wooed her at first, but she said no. Next thing, they tried forcing her into the car and hit her head with a stone. Kudos to Unilag security that swung into action. The boys were apprehended and taken to the nearest police station for interrogation. Gunmen on Monday abducted 5 persons at 2 different locations in Ekiti State. Sources said in the force attack, a former chairman of the Ilejemeje local government area of the state, Bangoye Adegoroye, and one occupant of his car were whisked away, while in the second attack, 3 workers in a charcoal factory were abducted. The chairman, Ifesowoko, local council area, Ekiti State, Mr. Akayode Akerele, who shed light on the false incident, said Adegoroye and one other person in his vehicle were kidnapped along the Isan-Iludun Road on Monday. He said we learned that the former council chairman and one other occupant of his car were driving along the road when his car was shot by gunmen who hid inside the bush. They stopped because the gunshot hit their car and it was at the spot that they were abducted. We have not heard whether the family have been contacted. On the second incident, the chairman of Aero LCDA, Mr. Akin Alebioshu, said 3 charcoal workers were kidnapped at Ekiti around 6:30 p.m. the same day. Alebioshu said the leader of the workers, identified as Olu, an agent of Ekiti, and other victims were at the Aero River basin for their business when the incident happened. The 2 council bosses appealed to security agencies to beef up security along the Ayede Isan-Iludun Ikun axis, which they said was becoming a safe haven for criminals. No fewer than 5 fire incidents were recorded yesterday in part of Anambra State. The Director of Fire Service, Mr. Martin Abili, has said. Abili, an engineer, said in a statement that most of the incidents were caused by bush burning. He urged residents to always check their surroundings, including cutting and clearing bush around their homes, churches, mosques, markets, schools, among others, to avoid regrets. Abili said about 60% of the fire outbreaks we combated in this dry season were the result of indiscriminate bush burning that easily spread to structures. The majority of the bush burning occurred in rural communities where residents, especially hunters, indiscriminately set fire on bushes during the dry season. We should cut all bushes to at least 5 feet above or away from our homes, schools, churches, markets, and offices. If it's not done, fire can easily spread from there to any closest structures. So another story from Kogi State. A first-class traditional ruler in Kogi State, the Olubunu of Bunu Land, and Chairman Bunu Traditional Council, Adebayo Joseph Ikushemoro, has raised the alarm that some of his children are using his name and letterhead to defraud members of the general public. Platforms report that Oba Ikushemoro would disclose this in a statement on Tuesday through his first son, Prince Josiah Ikushemoro, claimed that some of his children were capitalizing on his old age to carry out the dubious act. The monarch alleged that some of them are using his letterhead to seek financial assistance and approve appointment of village heads without his consent as a traditional ruler in Bunu Land. The statement said that the monarch has not authorized anyone to write any letter on his behalf or that of Bunu Traditional Council, as he has not given any of his sons approval to represent or act on his behalf. Those who may be concerned should disregard any purported letters that may have been signed on behalf of His Royal Majesty. Such letters are null and void. We urge the general public to seek clarifications on any correspondence purportedly emanating from His Royal Majesty by contacting the Royal Father himself, not through any of his sons, the statement added. So part of foreign story is still in Nigeria. A 19-year-old student, Fatnullah Agboluaje, who died in Ukraine, recently was said to have experienced extreme cold, which led to his untimely death. Rafiha, Agboluaje's older sister, had raised the alarm on social media that her family was informed that our brother was found dead in his room hours after he arrived at the Lviv Polytechnic National University, Ukraine. In a series of tweets shared by Nigerians in the Diaspora Commission, NITCOM, yesterday, the chairman CEO, Abike Dabiri Eroa, paid a condolence visit to the family of Agboluaje. It tweeted, recall, Fadlullah Agboluaje arrived in Ukraine on January 8th and was reported dead. A day after he was said to have died from extreme cold in his hostel room in Ukraine, according to the autopsy done on his body in Ukraine. The visit was filled with so many emotions and griefs from the Agboluaje's family, who blamed the school for negligence on the part of the liaison officer, Dabiri Erewa, who was filled with compassion for the Agboluaje family, informed the family of the immediate intervention of the Nigerian envoy in Ukraine, Ambassador Fatai Alege, who, with the consent of the father, demanded an autopsy. And to foreign story. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Tuesday accused the U.S. and its allies of ignoring Russia's top security demands, but said Moscow is willing to talk more to ease tensions over Ukraine. The comments were his first on the standoff in more than a month and suggested a potential Russian invasion of Ukraine may not be imminent and that at least one more round of diplomacy is likely. Yet the two sides remain unyielding in their main positions, and there was little apparent hope for concessions. Russia is expected to respond soon to a U.S. proposal for negotiations on lesser Russian demands, after which Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will speak. Lavrov and Blinken spoke Tuesday and reiterated positions put forward by Putin and President Joe Biden. The White House said Biden and Putin could also speak once the U.S. receives Russia's response. Putin argued that it's possible to negotiate an end to the standoff if the interests of all parties, including Russia's security concerns, are taken into account. I hope that we'll eventually find a solution, although we realize that it's not going to be easy, Putin said. Russia has amassed over 100,000 troops along the border of Ukraine, fueling fears of an invasion. It has denied any intention to attack. And lastly, on the foreign story was the one we just read, and last story for the world news is sports story. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, have torn down Ghana Football Association's request to name a new venue for next month's 2022 FIFA World Cup playoffs against Nigeria, CompleteSport.com reports. The GFA is seeking to move the game from the Cape Coast Stadium to Baba Yara Stadium, Kumasi. The Cape Coast Stadium is set to host Ghana's Independence Day celebration on March 6. CAF rejected a request stating that it fell outside the time allowed for such, and as a result, the match is confirmed for the Cape Coast Stadium. The FIFA World Cup 2022 preliminary competition regulations in its Article 21 venues, kickoff times, and training sessions stipulate that the venues of matches shall be set by the host association and/or by the confederation as applicable, and the matches may only be played in stadiums that have been inspected and approved by the confederation concerned. The opponent and the FIFA General Secretariat shall be notified by the host association or by the confederation as applicable at least 3 months before the match in question is due to be played, reads a statement from CAF. 24th of December 2021 was the deadline set by CAF for the participating national association to select and communicate to CAF their preferred venue for the playoff round of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 Africa qualifiers. On the 23rd of December 2021, GFA informed CAF that Cape Coast Stadium was the venue selected for the playoff round of the FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 African qualifiers. That was the world news from BGI TV. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines once again. Hanifa Abubakar and Sylvester Oromoni went to school and never returned back, Shehu Sani. Also on Hanifa Abubakar case, court adjourns case to February 9. OPC role in securing Southwest commendable, Oromoni. Also brought to you, Lady luckily escapes being kidnapped by boys in Unilag. Kidnap epidemic, gunmen abduct ex-LG chair, 4 others in Ekiti. Anambra records 5 fire outbreaks in 1 day. We also brought to you, my children using my letterhead for fraud. Kogi monarch raises alarm. And to another foreign Nigerian story, our Nigerian student died in Ukraine. And to foreign story, U.S. trying to lure Russia into war, Putin says. And lastly, sports story. CAF rejects Ghana venue change for Super Eagles clash. Thank you for watching. For more updates on YouTube, the handle is Baba Bagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell option all for our updates. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page for you to get updated. And on Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advertisement of your goods and services, coverage of your event and function, then the phone number streaming on your screen is the number to dial. I am Morire Rabiba Lawal. Good evening.